minute amounts on a planetary scale to cause these effects, but in the end, we'll have it release, and all of a sudden, everything will be allowed to start shifting back the way it was, and we expect that there will be rather violent outbursts both on all the planets and the sun.
Before I let you go, one last question. You're saying it's going to be a hot summer. I'm not a weatherman,
No,
but I know.
Oscillation. That's not the issue. It's
Okay.
not heat. We're saying summer of hell and undeniability because you may find yourself 2 days with exceptionally really hot temperatures, and then all of a sudden a 20 or 30 degree temperature drop, and the nighttime temperatures might go from a seasonal 60 down to 30, that kind of a deal, and then 2 days later it's back up again. So it's a summer of hell, and we will have heat, but it's not going to be ubiquitous. Not everybody's going to be baking, but with those places that are going to bake, it'll be both unusual and very extreme.
I was thinking of more of natural disasters, hurricanes, the Katrina-like presidential directive.
Yeah, giant mudslides, huge amounts of rain that are just going to be unimaginable for people to try and comprehend because of when and where they're happening. And there's just going to be too numerous to get into. Yeah, we're going to have hurricanes, but they're just going to be a side event, really. The winds are going to be a real problem, especially in conjunction with the drought areas, because we're going to get into a fire season like nobody's ever seen before.
National emergencies, and it could be anything, that could activate Presidential Directive 51. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I don't think it's meaningful.
You don't think it's meaningful? You don't think it's going to be activated anytime soon?
No, I don't think it matters if it's activated, because tell me what 51 does that is not currently already being done.
Well, they can take over local, they can take over territories.
They can
basically.
They can do it now. Eminent domain exists in the forms that they've got now. You wouldn't even necessarily know about it because they're controlling the press and they just do it. So it's a fear tactic. It's as long as they keep your mind worrying about the minutia, you're trapped into a specific kind of thinking that we here call monkey mind. And monkey mind keeps you going around in circles where all this chattering is going on constantly, and it works towards emotions, and it drives up the emotional fear and so on. Everyone needs to step out of monkey mind, get a real good look at what's going on, settle into their center, which is a meditation term, and then get righteous with the planet, refuse to cooperate with the idiots, and get prepared, because this stuff's going to happen. And bear in mind, there is a possibility that they all retreat to their deep underground bunkers, and we survive. And if enough of us survive, it's up to us to just let them out.
That's interesting. Just one last thing. I'm remembering how after Pearl Harbor, the Japanese actually wanted to invade the United States, but a general who had lived and studied in the United States told Emperor Hirohito that it was not a good idea because most of the U.S. population was armed. So that prevented the Japanese from invading. Do you see gun control take a different phase and get worse?
They've pretty much reached the maximum of what they're going to be able to achieve with gun control. It's too late. They can rant and rave and pass laws all they want, but it doesn't change people's behavior. All it does is legislate things. Bear in mind, government has no power other than to create laws, which are a collection of words on paper. It does not necessarily mean your behavior has to change. So at the moment, this is the maximum that they'll be able to achieve. That is to say, the restrictions that are causing the ammunition shortages and putting the pressures on guns and so on. But correct. If you tried to invade the United States and you decided you were going to come in through Alaska and you just jumped over Canada, you could do a giant leap and you hit Bellingham, Washington. By the time you got down to Olympia, Washington, I don't care how many people you've got, you'd probably be outgunned 2-1.
Exactly. Cliff, mention your website so people can see the latest.
It's halfpasthuman.com. Really, you need to go and check out urbansurvival.com, which is George Uhr's site. That's where we post public stuff. But again, we were burned by the people that posted our material without our consent, and it caused us great harm, and it has shut down our ability to do work in the future because of our engines, and we're taking the summer off anyway to deal with personal problems, so we may not be back.
Well, Cliff, thank you so much for your last minute appearance. You and George are doing a great job. Let's keep in touch.
Okay.